So in this video, I'm going to talk about something that you as a candidate could experiment for the purpose of improving your chances to be more credible in a job interview. And actually, in case you don't know, the number one problem that employers have with candidates in job interviews is that they say that candidates don't sufficiently prepare them, right? So assuming you did take a little bit of time to prepare them and you have a very nice story bank with, let's say, 50, some people prepare even more than that, and you have all your stories with all the metrics, with all the details, you're happy with how those stories are communicated, there you could consider sharing your story bank with your interviewers prior to your actual interview. Okay, so why would you do this? Well, you would do this for a number of reasons, but primarily the number one reason would be to solve that problem that, hey, employers do not trust candidates that they prepare for the interview. So by sharing, by being upfront with them, hey, you know what, these are my stories, I believe you'll be more credible during your actual job interview. And what happens here is that I know many of you spend time to revise your CV for the purpose of sharing that CV with your interviewers prior to your final interviewing rounds. Well, a better investment of your time would be to share your story bank directly, because that's, far more and far more valuable than just sharing your CV. From some experiments I made with this, I can tell you that your interviewers, majority of your interviewers, will not be interested in reading your story bank before the actual interview, simply because people don't have time for these things or don't want to invest their time for the purpose of a job interview like this. However, exceptions could apply here, especially with the main stakeholders in the project, especially with the people that are most directly impacted by your eventual hiring decision. So these people might have a look at your story bank before, which I believe would actually be, again, to your advantage, because you would, again, differentiate yourself from other candidates this way. Now, if you're wondering, hey, Dan, but why? I mean, wouldn't it be possible for them to then change their interview questions based on my story bank? Yes and no. I mean, the questions that you're going to get asked during the job interview will be the same questions they ask each and every candidate, and with the same wording and in the same order, right? Now, if someone takes the time to dive deep into your story bank and they might have some follow-up questions, yes, of course, those follow-up questions will be as a result of them looking at your story bank. But again, if you have nothing to hide there and you're actually proud of about your story bank, you have nothing to be afraid of here. Furthermore, another scenario where this could prove beneficial to you is if you'll have a backbone test during your interview, an intense exchange based on some factual information, and they will not be convinced that you actually, by some numbers, by some answers you give in your follow-up questions. Whereas if those statements are already in your story bank, that will be quite straightforward and easy for you to prove your point using a story bank that you provided them with before the actual interview started. Again, I know there's plenty of you who spend time rewording and rewriting your CV for the purpose of an on-site with the company. So I'd very much spend time on improving my story bank and sharing that story bank with my interviewers for this purpose, right? So again, it's an experiment, right? So it's only for the right type of candidate, and of course, to the extent you have a great story bank. In my experience, is like 5% of candidates have a story bank they are proud of. They have it. So I believe this is a scenario that you'd want to consider, again, in a context to differentiate yourself from other candidates and be more likely to be successful in your job interview. So I hope you found this interesting, and thank you very much for watching.